What is a good starter video game for a middle-aged man who has never really played before? Get a Nintendo, like parents used to say in the olden days. Today this means a Nintendo Switch. If you are alone you can play Zelda or Mario Odyssey. If you have people to play with, you can play party games like Mario Kart. Nintendo games are popular and easy on new players. You can have fun as a kid, a teen, or an adult. Can't go wrong. Yeah, it's pretty much the easiest way to get into it. A lot of people forget that. If you're not used to video games, just learning how to navigate a third environment and use the controller can be a challenge for some people. A lot of people are listing some really big adventure games. Overcooked and Overcooked 2 are some of the most entertaining, family friendly, and easy to understand games around. Everyone can play together. Overcooked is like Monopoly. If you don't hate your family, this is a great game to do so. I strongly recommend the Lego games. So much fun. I believe most of them have multiplayer as well. I was looking for this. First game I remember playing was Lego Star Wars on the originals box. Easy to pick up even as a 7-year-old. I wanted to be more specific, but apparently that broke the submission rules and was removed. We have no console, so online games or downloads only. Bonus if it is a game my wife and 15-year-old stepdaughter can play together. Edit, JFC. I posted this then got caught up in work. I have a lot of reading to do. How am I supposed to ever get to the actual games? Thank you all for the feedback and suggestions. Edit 2. I'm hearing on here that my computer video card might affect my ability to play video games. I have a Dell XPS 13, Core i7, 2018, that apparently has 128 megabytes dedicated Intel UHD graphics 620. No idea if that card is good enough, or if I need to consider upgrading. Edit 3. Gold. 13k upvotes. For my little question that I hoped might get a couple of serious replies. I'm blushing. How do I see who gifted it? What do I do with it? Also, RIP Inbox never had to say that before. Worms. It's turn-based and absolutely hilarious. Minecraft. This actually is true. I watched a video of Rasputin that let his wife, non-gamer, play Minecraft and it was actually pretty interesting. Here's a link to the video if you're interested. http://be/76lcbpdbvw. The Stanley Parable. While it's simple to play through, most of the comedy of this game might be lost on someone who hasn't played a lot of games already. It subverts a lot of norms, which is just going to be confusing without knowing the norms and what the subversion of them is supposed to represent. Civilization. I have to imagine this was suggested as a joke. Don't try to make this your first game. Seriously. It is complex and first-time gamers probably wouldn't even find it very fun. Dark Souls. You have probably already heard about how terribly difficult this game can be. Stardew Valley. There's no rush in it, no real backwards progress, so you don't have to worry about failure. It's calming and cheerful, and you can get a feel for progression through actions and how menus work. Overcooked. It's hectic but it's all in fun. You don't need to know much about menus, and there's very little you'll need to learn to start playing immediately. Low difficulty curve to start, but it expands as you go. Minecraft. Comfortable atmosphere during the day, and for the most part you can avoid combat if you need to. There's a large amount of expanded gamma play once you get into fighting and exploring, but you can play at your own pace fairly easily and learn on your own terms. Apparently there is a recipe book for every crafted item in the game, which is a new addition that makes this doable as a first-time gamer. Note, I'd suggest having someone help you out with this if you know someone who has played before. Plants vs Zombies. Simple to understand, very approachable for first-time or casual gamers. I'd second Overcooked and Stardew Valley. Firewatch. A beautiful story, no backwards progression, and a basic UI to get you acclimated to how game UI tends to work. Geometry Wars 1, 2, and 3. Note, only if you haven't box controller for your PC. This game can get extremely difficult at higher levels, but there's plenty of fun at lower levels and it's easy to pick up and start playing immediately. Braid, a simple platformer with a unique art style and some unique gameplay mechanics, namely time reversal. Limbo, stylized platformer with some interesting storytelling and world building you might enjoy. There is risk and some difficult parts, but nothing a new gamer won't be able to get through. Osmos, simple mechanic of movement through space and absorption of smaller items to get bigger, but it gets complicated as orbital mechanics are brought in, and enemy objects racing to get bigger than you. Very simple to understand once you start playing, and it's very calming during non-competitive levels. Some suggestions you've gotten that are downright bad for new gamers, and why. Portal 1 or 2, while 90% is puzzles that take a bit of time but are doable, there are some complicated parts. If unfamiliar with first-person shooter controls, you might run into an issue getting up a very large shaft in Portal 1. For example, since you'll be required to move the mouse quickly and effectively while flying through the air and aiming new portals. Minecraft actually has a crafting guiding game now, so you can click what you want and make it, or learn the recipe of it. No mods required. Stardew Valley. You all can play together. It's wholesome. Takes time and a lot of things to discover. I don't play video games ever, but got the hang of this pretty easily. Once I got the fishing and mining figured out, nothing could stop me. It's like $15 on Steam and I use my laptop. It's free if you buy a Tesla. I started with a game called Super Mario Bros. I still remember the morning my dad set up the Nintendo. Christmas morning. We ate breakfast. I kept asking about my boots. They told me they bought me boots, and the wrap box with them. I was excited for boots. My dad told me to get the box. I grabbed it and started tearing the wrapping away. Saw the box. Had an orange gun and a duck picture. My dad was like, "That's for you." I couldn't contain my excitement, and I recall crying. My dad told me to stop crying, hooked up the Nintendo, and left the room, while telling me that boys aren't supposed to cry. But I didn't care. It was my Nintendo. Thanks, Dad. I'd recommend starting off with a more casual game to get your feet in the water before you dive right in, just so you get to know how things work. I'd recommend Plants vs Zombies or Spyro Reignited as great starters, though you have to have a damn good PC to play Spyro. As someone who hasn't played Spyro since Year of the Dragon, WoW minus 2020 is sure continuing its weird as heck streak. Minecraft, just Minecraft, not modded Minecraft. Cause Minecraft with shaders won't run. Stardew Valley, day goodbye to your next 100 or so hours of free time. Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 2 baby. As a middle-aged guy who hadn't played video games in years, I found Red Dead Redemption 2 to be pretty great. It starts off with a tutorial that doesn't rush or assume I'm familiar with the controller, and that is really engaging as part of the story. It was slow enough that I didn't get overwhelmed by the, to me, modern complex controller dynamics, but still kept me engaged in the game. Things were introduced slowly and built in a way that I was able to build the muscle memory to get used to all the different control options. It's made it much easier for me to start trying other games. Also, the story is great, and it's beautiful during this shut-in time. I think all the controls would be a steep learning curve for a non-gamer, but I also have to say that RDR2 was possibly the most incredible single-player game I've ever experienced. Saying the story is great doesn't do it justice. The story was breathtaking. Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm a 54-year-old woman who has never had an Xbox. I haven't watched TV since Christmas. I spent my nights robbing banks, stealing horses, and basically just exploring this amazing world. Best game ever. I'm fairly new to modern gaming, and this one just astounds me at every turn. It didn't take too long to get the hang of either. Just phenomenal. Skyrim. That was my dad's first game and now he has over 5,000 hours. I wish I could make myself do something useful for 5,000 hours. Animal Crossing. Come join Quarantine Island. Minecraft. Zelda. It's good for all ages, all experience types, all genders. Tons of missions and side stories. It's not too childish and not too adult. Ocarina of Time. Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. Excuse me, you are forgetting a little game called Wind Waker. Stardew Valley. Your wife and kiddo would love it too. Kinda depends of what you like or think you would enjoy. I would suggest watching videos of people playing video games first and see what kind of video games you like to watch. And then what kind of platform you wanna use. If you want an easy fun game, I could suggest maybe the Untitled Goose Game. No stress, all fun and bit more like puzzle/humor kind of game. It's not a game to take very seriously. Chuchel is also one you might like. If you want a fighting game, I would suggest a play by turn kind of game. Maybe the South Park, Fractured But Whole game or Drakengard 2 as the mechanics are easy to learn and kinda repetitive, but the story is good. I recommend getting a Steam account if you haven't already. It's like online shop for games. The account is free, you only pay when buying games, and the games then get tied to your account, so you can access them from any computer. You can search for games and sort by genres, multiplayer/singular player, suitable for kids, etc. People rate and leave reviews. Also, yeah, like everyone else KS saying, Portal 2 has 2 modes, single player story mode and 2-player cooperative mode. If you like puzzles, I also recommend Fez. Myst is available on Steam too. Undertale is fun and kinda retro looking, a kinda mystery/adventure game. Undertale is meant for experienced gamers emo. While a non-gamer could figure it out a lot of its impact would be lost on a non-gamer. Tetris, addictive, it is. It's so simple yet such a great game. Slime Ranchers is a really fun and simple game I think everyone can enjoy. I believe it's free too. Sadly, it is not. I'm guessing you got it free with Xbox Gold, like me. But yeah, Slime Ranchers is fun, and their tutorials are simple and intuitive. Also, if it is free, thank you for telling me. I wanted to play it on PC for a while. Jackbox Party Pack. If you have friends or family you'd like to play with, it's like trivia on Laughing Gas. Plague Incorporated if you'd like to be able to play on your phone while pooping. Sea of Thieves. If you're looking for beautiful wondrous adventure and you're willing to dive into some of the staple FPS mechanics. I've found stuff like WASD movement doesn't come naturally to non-gamers, but it's something anyone can get used to. Yay, Plague Incorporated is so fun that I heard God is playing it right now. Little Big Planet. This is the correct recommendation. There are thousands of options out there, but finding something you can relate to should be the most important aspect. Understanding the skill required to play a certain video game is something everybody has to learn to some extent, so that would be the second thing to be aware of. Some games have a high threshold of skill, and can be a little disheartening to play. If you feel you aren't capable, decide what kind of experience you want. Do you want short blasts of energy or maybe a long drawn out relaxing time? Perhaps something in between? Then maybe consider if you want a story experience or a more arcade experience. Story based is self-explanatory, but arcade, in my opinion, just means more skill focus over story. But there is always a bit of both in a video game. One other thing to consider would be, how much time do you have to play? Some games require some time to get the most out of, whilst others only require maybe 15 to 30 minutes here and there. All can be played for hours on end of course. But there does seem to be a time-enjoyment ratio at times. Find something that relates to something you already enjoy. Maybe it's fantasy novels or sports or technology. Maybe you like building things. Below is all based on my opinion. Oregon Trail. You have died of dysentery. The Sims 4. I like that Sims can appeal to different players for different reasons. Some people enjoy building houses and neighborhoods. Others like exploring via their sim. Others like building elaborate stories to follow along. Some like to kill their sims. A little bit for everyone. You should try Sky, Children of the Light. It's available on iOS, iPhone or iPad. It's a non-violent game that was designed to be played with family and for gamers and non-gamers alike. If you do get a Nintendo Switch, I actually recommend Breath of the Wild. It's a very long, sometimes intense adventure game with dungeons and puzzles. It is my first video game, and when I started I couldn't control the camera and died within 5 minutes, but it's an incredibly forgiving and beautifully made game. Stardew Valley. Journey. Yes. Such a simple yet beautiful game which left me very emotional by the end. Sims is always a fun game to get started with. Call of Duty Zombies is a mindless game that doesn't take long to get comfortable with. Assassin's Creed is slightly difficult to get the hang of for controls but an amazing story and game. Portal and Portal 2 are simplistic controls and fun games. Also r/pageined gamers is a great place to look for reviews of games, popular and unpopular, to try out. Steam also has user-defined tags you can search to find games more geared toward your playstyle and interests. Hope this helped a little and welcome to the gaming void.